Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Brew live on Brew Sports. We welcome you inside our Thursday studios as we are here at the Attention Air Media Studios in beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We've got a great show in store for you today that we are just tickled pink that you decided to join us today. I know that I've already said as many cute things as I can to make Jaymee feel uncomfortable, so I must be doing something right with my day. But Jaymee, how are we doing today? Good to see you.
I'm good. Good to see you too.
You're just sitting over there looking at me like, what are you talking about? I really don't talk like that, I promise. But I try to either start off the show or do something most every show just to see if my co-hosts are actually paying attention to as I go on the air. Because a lot of times, like, okay, we're going on the air, and people are like, okay, I'm doing it. And then they're just like, wait, what? What are you saying? Like, so anyway, good morning, Jaymee. Happy Thursday to you. A day away from Friday. Life is good. How'd your hockey thing go yesterday? I know you were all gussied up, looking all cute and stuff yesterday, and everyone was like, hey, on Facebook. So
it went well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we lost. Yep, 5-3, but we had about 6,500 kids in the building.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Sounds like a very successful day in my book.
Yeah, it was nice. It was good. It was good.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good. And I'm glad that were there any fights? That was the big thing. We were really...
one fight. Only one fight this time.
Only one fight. Wasn't it?
Yep.
You said there was like 5 or something last year.
Yeah, there were 6 last year. Only
Holy
5 this
cow.
time. And only one fight in the stands between some kids.
What?
So, yeah. Uh-huh.
Like rival schools, or what was it?
No, I think it was just 2 kids in a classroom.
2 kids in a classroom that
Yeah.
were just going at it, being like, no, like, she's my girl. Like,
Yeah, I don't really...
Third graders are vicious.
Yeah, they are. Clearly.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Hey, I gave Sam my cookie. She's clearly my girlfriend. Like, you get out of here,
Right.
Paul. I don't know.
Paul. Who names a 3rd grader Paul?
I don't know. I'm just throwing names out there now.
Okay.
But anyway, Paul really got his ass kicked. But anyway, Paul, you'll learn for next year. All right, we've got a great show in store for you today. We're going to be joined actually in studio in our second segment by our very first in-studio guest, Bill Schmid from 105.7 The Fan. What? Crazy. He's going to help us talk a little bit more. People have been requesting all of this Milwaukee Brewers spring training talk and the Green Bay Packers free agency. Today is NFL free agent signing day, so of course we need to talk about that thoroughly throughout all Brew Sports programming today. So Bill is going to help us break down the Packers a little bit, maybe just some of the general big things happening in the NFL free agency world as well, too. So he'll be here in the second segment, so make sure to hang tight for that when we bring him on. But time for the What's Brewing segment, Jaymee. What is brewing in the sports world on this fine Thursday morning?
Lots of things. Let's start with maybe a little bit of Michigan basketball.
Michigan basketball. So Michigan, go blue. I'm not a go blue kind of person. I'm a go Bucky, go Badgers, all that fun stuff. University of Michigan Wolverines are on their way to the Big Ten tournament, and they had a little bit of a scare.
They did.
They haven't even played a game yet.
Nope.
It wasn't like they got scared by like a number 14 seed. Like they didn't even make it out of the airport, and there was already a scare basically. But the team's plane skidded off the runway during takeoff. I'm not sure how I think isn't that kind of the whole point, is to skid off the runway to fly?
Yeah, but I think that instead of going straight because of the winds, they went.
That's slightly terrifying.
Yeah, because the wheels don't go that way.
I always say that flying makes me a very religious person because I don't think I pray more during a day than I do when I fly. Just
really?
Because I mean I do
you
pray.
get that nervous, right? But I mean, you just
like
get that nervous.
I'm a Christian. I go to church, all that fun stuff. But like for some reason, there's so much uncertainty about flying. Like I enjoy flying. I think it's a wonderful modern convenience. Thank you to the Wright brothers for inventing the airplane. But shout out to Orville there. But like there's just so much uncertainty. You literally sit in your chair and like the plane is shaking. And in what situation is something going that fast and shaking a good thing?
Yeah, or that big and in the air.
Exactly.
If you just don't think about it, then you're fine.
And that's the thing. It's like, I pull up my book or watch something on my laptop. Great, no big deal. But then people always like sticking their head out the window going like, oh, look, like, and then that's, of course, that's always, everybody has the same thought. And tell me I'm not wrong on this. You look out the window, you're like, if I fell from here, would I die? And it's like, yes. And it's like, what would I think about as I'm plummeting 35,000 feet to my impending doom?
I usually don't think about it until like turbulence hits. And then I'm
usually that's at that point too. I'm just like, oh gosh, it's it. This is done. Goodbye, Mom.
Over.
I love you, Mom. And then you like start getting like your phone like pulled up, and you're like, okay, who can I call once I get into cell phone service right before I hit the ground? Be like, I love you.
I don't think that it would pick up that fast, but you do you, Baxter.
I would try.
I would try. You think what you want.
I don't know. Maybe like I said, I don't not enjoy flying. I do. It's a wonderful modern convenience. I get to go see my family,
big baby.
Travel. That's maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just a big baby, Jaymee. I can only hope to be as man as you are one day. I don't know if that's a good thing or
I don't
not.
know either. Probably not.
I don't know, but flying is something that the Michigan University Wolverines are a little wary about now. But nobody got hurt, from what I was told, and from what I've seen here, according to at least CBS Chicago or NBC Chicago, that one of the first people to report this. But team, like you said, the winds in the Midwest yesterday were between like 50 and 70 miles an hour. Like, people were getting blown over. I tried to walk to my car, and it took me 10 minutes to go 20 feet. Like, I was all over the place, basically. I felt like Michael Jackson, like, doing, like, the lean. I was just like, ooh, like, I felt really cool, even though I wasn't trying to do it on purpose. But glad to hear that they're okay, and they get to compete now in the Big Ten basketball tournament, so we will definitely keep an eye to see if something like this affects the players or not.
Where were they flying to?
Big Ten tournament is in Washington, D.C. at Madison Square Garden, so we will keep in it.
What?
Yes. Money, Jamie. That's all you need to know is money. Because the Big Ten, I mean, we can have this conversation if we need to about, why is Maryland in the Big Ten, or why are there more than 10 teams in the Big Ten, or why is Rutgers in the Big Ten if they're not all in the same little pocket. But yes, they're playing. I could be completely wrong, but I almost was positive. Taking on University of Illinois in Washington, D.C. To open the Big Ten tournament.
Right, it's in D.C.?
Yes. But maybe not Madison Square Garden.
There
I'm sorry.
we go.
I'm getting I don't know. They're going to D.C. I don't know where exactly they're playing. I forget.
Verizon Center.
The Big East plays at Madison Square Garden. There we go. Okay. I've heard so many. The basketball talks got me all turned around, honestly. This is interesting. This isn't sports related, but do you enjoy Topper's Pizza?
I mean, at 3 a.m., for sure.
Okay. Well, apparently they're closing all their locations in Chicago and Illinois as a whole. I don't know why this needed to classify as all locations in Chicago and Illinois. Why not just say Topper's closes all locations in Illinois? I don't know.
Maybe because Chicago sounds better.
I suppose, but I feel like it's insinuated. If you say the statewide shutdown, I feel like you need to specify the city as well, too. But what do I know? I just talk for a living. All right. So Tim Tebow also got his first shot at glory yesterday. Everybody has different viewpoints on what Tim Tebow did, but Tim Tebow got his first shot at being a Major League Baseball star yesterday. And it didn't exactly go the way he wanted it to go. I mean, his first at-bat was rather embarrassing, Jamie. He faced 4 pitches and struck out. Some true baseball experts are saying, well, that the final pitch that really struck him out was a bit questionable, a little, low and outside. Shouldn't have counted. He took a 1 ball as well too. But from all reports from what I've been hearing, Jamie, it was fastballs. Every single pitch was just a fastball down the middle. They weren't trying to overcomplicate it. They weren't trying to, get him with a slider or any weird baseball pitches that people do nowadays. Like, they were just trying to put it down the plate, let him take a crack at it, and he just couldn't do it.
Choked.
Couldn't hit.
I mean, do we maybe just give him a little bit of a break because it was his first time at bat?
You'd like to think so. Well, and it's such an interesting debate, and Tim Tebow is one of those polarizing figures that anybody, anywhere, has an opinion and can debate about for hours. Really, because so many people make fun of his career, so many people make fun of what he's done and his failures, but nobody ever focuses on the charity work that he does. Nobody focuses on how he's never really let all his fame polarize his character, how he's always just been this really good guy. Shout out to homeschooling. Go Tim Tebow. He was homeschooled. Fun fact, nobody knew that. Good morning, everybody, as well, too. Shooting in here on Facebook, Liz, Greg, Brew, Ian. Ian says he's flying Friday, by the way, so good luck, Ian.
The wind will slow down.
I'm sure you'll be fine by that time. I say Ian's going to be in the studio here next after us, so I hope he's not flying today. I'd be a little sad about that, but anyway, our agents will talk. Anyway, but why do we make such a big fuss over Tim Tebow, good or bad? Usually bad. Nobody focuses on when he throws a prom for mentally disabled kids, or when he pulls a puppy out of a river shirtless, or that was a Super Bowl commercial or whatever. But either way, why do we never focus on the good things? It's always about he messed up.
Because we'll go back to what we've been saying for the last week. Everybody loves drama, and it's easier to make fun of him than to like we said yesterday, it's easier to complain about a restaurant than tell them that they're doing a good job. It's easier to point out all of Tebow's flaws than to...
Do you think it's because he's a Christian? Because how many times did he get just blasted for his prayer and his John 3:16 eye makeup and all that fun stuff when he played football?
I don't think that has anything to do with this. I think that has to do with just people being bullies.
Interesting.
Do you think? Yeah, I would seek out someone and be like, that guy's a Christian. I'm gonna make fun of him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would hope from one Christian to another that people wouldn't do that, of course. But how often do we see stuff like this happen, though? I mean, it really is more so with guys like Ian, or with not guys like Ian. I'm sorry, Ian's commenting, so I'm making fun of Ian. Sorry, no, guys like Tim Tebow. Sorry, Ian. I promise you're a nice guy. I'm not trying to make fun of you. Ian does say he is a big Tim Tebow fan. He does, and people are justifying Tim Tebow's struggle at his first at-bat. At least he went 0 for 3 through the entire game. But he also faced the Cy Young Award winner as the best pitcher in baseball, basically last year, on his first ever at Major League at-bat. So nobody really. It could have been Giancarlo Stanton, one of the best in the game. Derek Jeter. Those guys all would have struggled. Right. It doesn't matter how many years of experience you've got. You're going up against arguably one of the best to ever play the game. Good luck, kind of a thing. But I do agree with you, though, with what you're saying about how people just love the drama. People love to pick out the faults, Like, if I were just to make fun of you, be like, well, your hair doesn't match. You've got two-tone color hair. Like, I don't care how nice of a person you are or how much you give to charity, but, like, if I don't like your hair, I'm going to let you have it, and I'm going to tweet about you.
And people in everyday life do. I mean, like, when you're growing up, people make fun of your outfit. If your shoes aren't cool enough, if you're this, if you're that, it's the same thing.
Yes.
Tim Tebow is a little bit different than everybody else that plays sports. He's a little more quiet about certain things, Or not quiet, where other Christians who are athletes maybe are. So that's probably part of it. He's more open about it.
I would agree with you on that one. Yeah, you hope that he certainly finds some sort of success, and he's just continuing to show younger players that, look, if you've got a dream, no matter what it is, I mean, it's really in general to the world. Like, if you've got a dream, go and chase it. If you might not succeed at one thing, go and try something else. It happens. Not everybody's going to be perfect. I mean, this isn't my first time in broadcasting. This is, I've had to work my way through good and bad situations to then land at an opportunity where I finally, feel comfortable and feel like I'm actually having some sort of success as well, too. So people go through different slumps and bumps in their jobs and their life all the time. So, harness the energy, harness the positivity of what Tim Tebow is trying to do to the world and embrace it. Don't shun him.
Sure.
And let's not. I mean, it's okay to have
you just know that I don't think that he should play baseball. I just think.
Do you think he should have stayed at football, or?
I think he should stick to broadcasting.
Fair enough. I don't mind broadcasting.
He cleans up well. He speaks well. He's
a very smart guy.
Well.
Very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Would you go on a date with Tim Tebow? If Tim decided to start commenting on our morning brew and be like, "Hey, Jamie, you're a nice lady. I'll take you on a date." No?
I don't know.
Maybe.
He's bigger than me, so that's nice.
That is a stipulation. Must be at least 6 feet tall. We heard that on Tuesday morning. All right. Well, I think we should probably move along with the show as we get ready to move along with things. So, of course, free agency right now in the Major League Baseball world is not as big as it was, of course, because spring training is going on. Teams are really starting to put together who they are and what is going on. But the NFL is hot and heavy. Today is March 9th, which is the start of NFL free agency. Officially, the legal tampering started yesterday with certain teams and players, but now today is the big thing. And, of course, being here in Milwaukee, we have the opportunity to speak with people that are at the very forefront of what is taking place in the sports world. And one of those fine gentlemen is now seated in the studio with us now. It is Bill Schmid. Bill, good morning, sir. How are we doing today?
Good, man. How you doing?
Doing well. Congratulations. Great to have you on the set today.
It's, for sure. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
Tuned in, thought it was an awesome spot, so I had to come in and check it out for myself.
Well, we appreciate you being here. So, Brewers spring training, of course. We don't have the drama of Tim Tebow right now, so we got to focus on as a team. In what? What are the positives that we can kind of focus on?
Yeah, I don't know if everyone's upset that we don't have Tim Tebow to talk about. Frankly, I think it would have been an awesome storyline.
I agree.
But there's so many exciting things to look at with these guys. There's a lot of young talent on the team. You're looking at like Lewis Brinson. Ryan Cordell's been hitting the cover off the ball in the first couple of weeks. I'm actually heading down there with Tim. We're going to do the show from there for a week, so we're going to head down on Saturday. Like we said, hopefully the windstorm dies down for us to get on out of Chicago.
Do you mind flying? Are you
yeah, I'm pretty good with it.
Okay, that's good.
I went to Vegas last month, and we had a nice hour worth of turbulence.
Ooh.
And I think at that point, if I got over that one, I think I should be fine. So
no, thank you. No,
yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of storylines, a lot of pitching guys that I think can can make an impact for the team.
Right.
And it's all just going to be who shows up and who wants to go to work every day. And I think that's what Craig has really implemented with the guys and made it known that, every spot's up for grabs. So it should be a fun next couple of weeks.
You look at, obviously, the Brewers last year and still a very young team. I keep hearing these cross comparisons that the Brewers have the best farm system. Give them a couple of years, they're going to be the Chicago Cubs in a couple of years. Is that actually a real thing, or are we just trying to make ourselves as Brewer fans feel better about ourselves?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of want to be the Chicago Cubs, obviously, for what they've done in the last year and what they've done in the last 5 years, really building that farm system to what it was when you have, Rizzo and Bryant and Addison Russell and Javi Baez coming up all at the same time. But when you look at a timetable like that, you can relate it back to the Brewers in the 05 to 08 range when you had guys like Ricky Weeks, J.J. Hardy coming up. It's going to be paced a little bit more like that. I don't think you're going to see a mass rush to the big leagues like the Cubs had. And, Theo Epstein talked about it right after they won the World Series and said, what we did is something that can't really necessarily be copied because not every team has $170 million to go and throw at John Lester and expedite the rebuild for 2 years. So
exactly.
There's a big difference between what the Chicago market and what the Milwaukee market can do. The only other glaring deficiency I see between the Cubs rebuild and what the Brewers have is there's really no Chris Bryant right now.
Yeah, and Ryan Braun has done a good job for the Brewers. Let's not take anything away from him when he's actually healthy and actually caring about what's going on, of course. But is Ryan Braun still as, I don't know if popular is the right word, but is he still as infallible as he used to be for the Brewers?
We talk about that on the show all the time. It's one of those common discussions of what is Ryan Braun now?
Yeah.
Is he still a fan favorite? It was obviously a tough couple of years after the situation went down. I think he is back in the good graces with a lot of the family.
Okay.
A lot of fans seem to still know that he's our guy. We still want him around. And, he was that 2000s ball club's version of Chris Bryant. Once Ryan Braun got to the big leagues, we were there.
Yes.
You were ready to compete. You were ready to get something going. So I think a lot of people still kind of hold on to that mindset of what he was and what he can be. And what he was last year was a guy that hit .315, had 25 home runs and just short of 100 RBIs.
True.
And was one of the more productive left fielders in baseball. So when you look at you have to get rid of him, you have to trade him, I necessarily don't think that he has to be gone for this whole rebuild to work.
Right.
It's obviously a fun discussion. I wouldn't be upset if they made a move because then we'd have a little something to talk about.
That would certainly, and that's the big thing I feel like for Wisconsin sports as a whole. I mean, how many times do free agency or signing days come and go, or even the draft as a whole, and people are like, maybe we should take this exciting high-flying player, and then the Brewers, the Bucks, the Packers are just like, maybe not.
Well, actually, I was on that's why I was a little bit late. I was making sure Ted Thompson was awake.
You got to make sure
agency started. Make
Ted,
sure that he knew that.
Ted,
Make sure he knew it was March 9th.
Today's kind of a big deal, Ted. I know you probably have golf or cricket or whatever.
Yeah, he was hanging out in the hot tub, so I had to make sure that he got inside.
Early morning.
Probably threw a rager last night.
Yeah.
Just
I don't know if it was the morning. I think it was still the wee hours of the night for Ted.
I love it.
Everybody talks about who impresses them throughout spring training. Do you have anybody that's disappointed you?
Ooh.
Disappointed. It is so short.
Why are you so negative, Jamie? We talked about trying to be positive, and here you are trying to bring the program down.
It's trying to bring it down. It's 7:19 in the morning.
Good Lord.
Trying to keep us at
She's trying to make sure people don't get too excited.
She keeps me in check, Bill. Yeah. If you haven't gathered that, she keeps me in check here on the show.
Because he was thinking the Brewers were going to win the division.
Right.
Yeah,
90 games, right?
He's going to draft just the entire Brewers for Brewers fantasy, just the whole team. This is my year, baby. Let's go.
I think early on you're not seeing a whole lot of at-bats, so I don't really know if anyone's necessarily disappointed. You'd like to see a couple different stronger outings. Junior Guerra got not necessarily roughed up, but he got hit around the yard a little bit in his last outing. Yesterday came back, pitched a little bit better in his first inning of work. Josh Hader's looked good. You haven't necessarily seen, and I'll get a lot more next week after you can see the guys up close and see how AP goes and everything. But early on, I think everyone's just kind of getting back in the swing of things, getting some hits back in.
We have Robert on Facebook asking what you think the trade value for Ryan Braun is.
$6.
$6, apparently.
Wow.
Apparently that's it.
She is real negative this
She
morning.
is.
Goodness.
You see what I have to work with here, Bill. It's a hard situation to be in. But
you got to put some in that coffee. Make sure that you're ready to rock and roll this morning.
Who says I don't? I mean, that's why I try to be so happy. Like, good morning, everybody.
Show where there's no alcohol.
Thus far, you got to bring the Bloody Mary. Got to bring the Bloody Marys in. We embrace the whole brew sports, and we encourage drinking.
So there are usually Bloody Marys? And
there should be.
There hasn't yet.
Because, I mean, so many people, at least for me, can't just crack open a beer at 7:15 in the morning like Ted Thompson and be like, game on for the day.
Ready
like,
to rock and roll.
I need a Bloody Mary. I need to ease my way into it. A little Kahlua or something in the coffee. Like, I can't just crack open a Miller or whatever and be like, here we go. Like, it's not my day. I got to at least get to at least to 11 to justify that it's lunchtime somewhere in the world. But anyway, that's.
Well, Baxter, I'm going to give you one
piece.
piece of advice.
Please.
Can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
That's a very valid point. Jaymee, of all people, and I'm sure you know that.
Me.
That's taking a shot at her early on.
I would not know.
So we're talking trade value.
Talking trade value for Ryan
I totally
Braun,
derailed
going
the
somewhere.
show.
That's what we
Somebody
do.
said alcohol, and I got excited.
No, it happens.
So trade value for Ryan Braun. I think, Tim and I had a lot of discussions. You can hear our show.
When is your show, by the way?
Shameless plug.
Please, yeah, tell us.
After each and every game on Sports Radio 105.7 FM The Fan. Also get our app. We're on the TuneIn app, 12:50 a.m. All different ways to listen to us. But after each game for about an hour and a half, we're on air taking calls and just talking Brewers. So we had the discussion for months last year. I don't know if you're getting, 2 in the top 5 of someone's farm system.
And is that really what it comes down to nowadays? Is like, here's my current player for future considerations, basically?
Oh,
like
yeah.
for farm system?
Yeah, you're not. Well, I mean, if you trade Ryan Braun in the way that your whole organization is, I feel, and you don't get minor league prospects.
Sure.
I think you kind of screwed up the whole timeline because you're trying to put in guys that are going to be players in 2021.
Because the Brewers aren't trying to win now.
No.
I think that's the reality I think so many people.
Yeah, that's the reality that a lot of people, and my co-host or the man that hosts the show is one of those people that we've had to rein in.
Be like, shh.
And this is how it's going to happen.
Yes.
Eventually, we'll get there.
I think the bottoming out hasn't necessarily happened that the Brewers thought they were going to see.
Okay.
But and a lot of that is Ryan Braun hitting, 315 and
that
producing runs like he did last year.
Should the Brewers be playing worse than they actually are? Like, to stop giving fans semi hope? Like,
I would have thought
guys,
they would have played a lot
stop trying to
worse last
pretend
year.
like we're decent.
73 wins was a high total for that team last year.
It was.
And I want to believe that it's only going to go higher. I think 75, 76 wins is a good baseline of where they could get this year.
Yes.
I could also see them winning 60, 68, 65 games if people, don't take another step forward. I mean, if you don't get 60 stolen bases from Jonathan VR, you probably win 65 games.
That's a good point. I have a question for you from somebody on Facebook. Brendan wants to know how you keep your hair looking so nice.
Brendan, it is a 2-step process, a rinse, lather, repeat.
That sounded like 3.
Double shampoo.
Double shampoo.
And then I hit the conditioner one time.
One time. Is that like a once a week sort of thing? Or
no, that's
a daily?
Not daily.
Because people say you can't wash the hair daily.
See, Baxter, I know you keep your hair very nice.
I try.
You can't wash your hair when you got longer locks. You can't wash it every single day. You got to hold on maybe
every
other day.
Daily,
Mostly. I mean, usually if my hair's down, I wash it every day because otherwise it just looks gross. But, if it's back, it's usually, back tees, so you can't see how gross it is.
Yeah. If it's back, you can go usually every other day.
Ah, exactly. I do have to ask you this as well, too, maybe because I don't know where you played high school. Did you play at Whitnell?
I did.
Okay, so Craig on Facebook says shout out to the Whitnell Falcons. So,
nice.
Craig,
there we go.
Craig giving you some love there. There we go. Robert also says Arizona lost the game because they traded Shelby Miller, giving up for their farm system shortstop as well, too. So I guess that the trades are still happening, I guess, all over the place. But people are also talking about the Bills losing in wiffle ball the other day on Facebook as well, too. So, guys,
Somebody's talking about the wiffle ball game that we had the other day.
Yep.
That's
embarrassing.
Blew a 3-1 lead, apparently. You want to talk about it?
It was a painful day. I don't know why that had to get brought up.
Brody brought it up.
We've sadly actually lost 2 in a row.
Really? Is it a rebuilding year for you guys?
I think it's kind of just a downturn in the season.
Okay.
We
Everybody
really
hits
hit the mid mark of the year.
Drop a little bit and then
spring break's coming up. People are looking forward.
Sure.
Not necessarily in the game.
People are
we were a
little distracted
spacey
at
on
this
defense.
But you blew the lead. You specifically.
I did not.
That's not what Adam says.
Adam says Bill blew a 3-1 lead in wiffle ball in last week in the last inning on a 3-1 count. Hashtag he was pitching. Adam Patrick apparently is calling you out.
That's the one that was pitching and gave up 9 in the first 3 innings. But we'll throw that. We'll just throw that in the hopper.
Throw that back over there. All right, transitioning out of baseball into the Green Bay Packers. Bill, first of all, thank you. We appreciate you coming into the studio today. The Green Bay Packers, unfortunately, will probably not do a single thing. All they will do is they will continue to say, bye, Nick Perry, bye, Micah Hyde, because that's the guys that we're hearing right now that are likely going to leave that the Packers should be re-signing, unless I'm wrong about that. I think those are 2 guys that need to be a priority for signing, for keeping them on the team before we even try to go sign anybody else. But do the Packers realistically make any sort of move that fans are going to care about, or is it going to be somebody like in 4 weeks where it's like, oh, he was a 7th-round draft pick that has a lot of great upside?
I don't think the team is going to go out and get Stephon Gilmore or Tremaine Jackson from the L.A. Rams. They're not going to go out and sign one of the top 3-5 corners. They're not going to go and sign somebody that's a top 3 pass rusher. Like you said, they're going to deke and dunk. They're going to find different guys that can come in, fit the system, fit what they want to do on defense. Nick Perry is one guy that I don't think they need to sign.
Interesting.
If you look at what he's done in his years in Green Bay, he was averaging 2 to 3 sacks in his first 3 years.
Yeah.
Gets to a contract year, he puts up 11.
Yeah.
Now,
amazing how that happens.
Right. And I don't know. The big one that glares out to me as a 90s kid is Cletus Hunt.
Yes.
The Packers signed him in the early 2000s.
Good old Cletus.
Give him $37 million, and I don't think they saw from him in the next 3 months.
No.
So there's...
He was just gone.
Yeah, so I think when you look at a guy that was on a contract here and he has a season like Nick Perry did, there's obvious red flags. Why was his production lower than it was? I think he's right around like a 6.5, 7 sack a year kind of guy. Mm-hmm. I think you can find those in April.
Interesting.
There's also a lot of good pass rushers in this draft, and obviously, we know Ted loves to work in the draft.
Loves the draft.
When I went to wake him up this morning, I saw his draft board was filled through his living room. So I would expect the Packers to bring 3 to 4 guys in, 2 to 3 maybe with some name recognition, but nothing where you're looking at the top 25 or the top 30 free agents, I don't think, at all of football.
Fair enough. So do Packer fans, I guess, have anything to look forward to?
Oh, yeah, I think you have a playoff appearance to look forward to.
That's it. So just to heck with free agency, to heck with the 12 guys we'll draft and say, forget about it. Basically.
I think it's a big, not necessarily problem when you look at Packer fans in general, but when you go to the playoffs for 8 straight years, you're doing something right.
I was about to say, you're doing something right.
Then is it really something to look forward to? Because we're kind of used to it. Like, I'm going to the playoffs again.
As Packer fans, we are almost tainted now.
It's gotten ordinary.
Exactly.
It's not an ordinary feat. There's only 2 teams in football that have had the kind of run that the Packers and Patriots. Yeah. Obviously, the Patriots have capitalized with rings.
Yeah.
Packers have fallen short 3 different times.
Yes. Caleb on Facebook asked, who do you think signs Nick Perry? Because we've heard rumors. I think of the Colts, the Raiders, and some other team I think was also tossed out there
I could definitely see him ending up with the Jets. I think I heard that yesterday. Kevin Green went there to be their outside linebackers coach.
Sure.
Who was the outside linebackers coach when Nick Perry was here early on. And same thing. I mean, he didn't have necessarily the production that he did last season under Kevin Green, but I know that's a relationship that I believe he keeps pretty close. So I could definitely see him going to the Jets. I could see him going to the Colts. They have a lot of money to spend, and Chris Ballard looks like a GM that's trying to rebuild that roster
literally from the ground up, I feel like. So if you're the Jets, I mean, you might as well just start throwing money around and hoping for the best at this point.
Look at what the Jaguars do every single time. I mean, it's...
But now they're going to potentially sign Calais Campbell as well, too. So
after they just brought in Malik Jackson last year. If you're a defensive player hitting free agency, call Jacksonville. It's warm. They will pay you a lot of money.
And you get to play in a nice stadium for the most part.
You don't get to win, but you get to win.
But if you can, be cool with all that other stuff. They do. They have a huge pool.
Florida.
Ryan wants to know the thoughts of potentially drafting a strong safety in the first round for the Packers.
Gosh, that's tough because I think your secondary is pretty strong in the middle there with Ha-Ha and Morgan.
Weren't they kind of talking about running backs in the first 2? Or am I
a
lot of that.
I've heard a lot of running backs.
What about Lacey, I guess? That's the one thing that so many folks are kind of playing back and forth. Should we sign him? What about Ty? Is Ty a 200 to 300 carry a season kind of player? Like, what do we do with Ty Montgomery?
Yeah, he's a 15 carry guy, I think, each game. I wouldn't be surprised if Eddie Lacy's back at a year, $2.5, $3 million.
Sure, I could see
something
that.
A low level. I know he's talking
incentives.
From what we've heard, is he kind of wants to get one of those 1 year bet on himself kind of deals.
Yes,
give himself an opportunity to get that 4-year deal next year that he thought he probably should have gotten this year. So I think they're going to. And Corey Clement said last week at the Combine, he had talked with a member of the Packers scouting staff, and they said they're potentially taking 2 running backs in this draft.
Interesting.
So I think that definitely
would Corey Clement fit into the Packers system?
He's not necessarily a catch the ball out of the backfield kind of back. I think Daria Gumbawale from the Badgers fits that group.
Bless you.
Yeah, right.
Jamie was like, "Can you say that on the air?" Like, yes, you can.
I think he's a little bit more of a pass catching back. Fits kind of what they want to do, spread it out a little bit more. I think Corey's a downhill back, but I think he's got a little bit more to give than what he gave at Wisconsin.
Yeah,
I don't think they gave him the ball necessarily enough. He also didn't necessarily have a full season besides this year that you saw him.
True. People are pleading for Christian McCaffrey potentially.
I love
the Packers.
That. I love that idea.
And I think he would be around at that point as well too. He's not a top 10 or 15 draft pick. His combine was good. He wasn't bad. Did exactly what we thought he was going to do. So. But I think there's a lot of other talented players overall that won't, that will affect where he goes, I guess. But I could see him going to the Packers, to the Patriots, a team that,
to the Steelers, somebody there in the back end of the round. And I think McCaffrey kind of, to get to the strong safety question, the only safety I think really I would necessarily be happy seeing is, besides Jalen Adams, Malik Hooker, are going to be gone in the top 10. I really like Jabril Peppers. He can do a lot of different things. As a football player, I see him as just a dude that loves to play.
Is he a first-round guy?
I think he's a first-round talent for sure. I think
he's multi-dimensional.
He's a multi-dimensional guy. At worst, in his first season, while you figure out where he's going to play defense, he's one of the top 5 kick returners in football.
And I think that's a huge thing to have.
That's a huge thing to have. It shifts the field. And Peppers kind of fits into that idea with what McCaffrey is. He was high production in college, put up a lot of good numbers, played a lot of good football, but wasn't necessarily a top 10 talent, not necessarily a top 10 body. I think is one thing that you'll hear a lot of. If you're watching the Combine, Mike Mayock describing every physical feature. He has his, his tags for all the different guys. Yeah. I don't think Peppers and McCaffrey necessarily fit into that one mold. He's not, 240. He's not Leonard Fournette. But he can catch the ball out of the backfield and he can make plays.
Your cousin Jordan says, hey, to you, by the way, Bill. And he also says, give Brett Hundley away for a first-rounder.
If they can get Brett Hundley for a first-rounder, I don't know why anyone's not taking it.
Ryan from Facebook says, Dalvin Cook is greater than Eddie Lacy, and I know that the Packers had talked to him at the Combine, but
Dalvin Cook's not going to be around.
But everyone's right, saying that he's obviously going to get picked up way before.
He'll be like a top 10 pick.
We'll have to see. He was not impressive in what he ran. He ran like a 4.5 for a guy that's, 5'10", 5'11", 210 pounds. He is the pass-catching back, He is kind of the McCaffrey style, but he didn't outrun nearly as well as McCaffrey did, and his drills did not necessarily look as good as McCaffrey's did. And Leroy Butler and I were talking about it in the studio yesterday. Dalvin Cook might not be able to – he might not have wanted to work out at the Combine. He definitely did not look necessarily ready. He may have fallen down into that 20, mid-20 range.
Maybe he did it on purpose. He was like, I'm just going to,
I don't want to go to the Browns.
I'm going to trot my way through this.
Yeah, just whatever. I'm going to
only
run a 4.5.
Did anyone think that maybe more guys should do that?
Maybe,
if you're the number
like
3 maybe pick, if I could fall back into the teens.
Yeah, I'd rather not go to Oakland, or I'd rather not go to Jacksonville. Be like, or maybe just be injured. Be like, no, guys, I'm just not feeling the greatest.
But if free agency is anything, Jacksonville should be the place that people want to go.
Exactly. Well, Bill, you're going to be back for our Bubbler Banter show with Josh and Ian a little after 9 to get into this even more for all the Wisconsin, because the comments keep rolling in, but we have to move on, unfortunately, with the show. So I want to thank you for stopping by the Morning Brew.
For sure.
I hope we can have you back on again, too, after you get back from beautiful Arizona.
Let's do it.
All right, Bill. Well, we'll talk to you soon.
Guys.
All right, there goes Bill Schmid. So some exciting stuff that we've talked about so far on the program this morning as we continue to roll along here on the Morning Brew. NFL free agency, as we mentioned, a hot topic today among many different avenues, basically. So one of the big names, of course, as many people know, has been Tony Romo. Where is he going to go? He was officially cut by the Dallas Cowboys yesterday, and people are saying that was the best thing that they really could have done. Jerry Jones, bringing down the axe on big old Tony T there, Tony R, thinking like, okay, well, what are we going to do with him now? And we've heard rumors that he's going to go to the Texans. We've heard rumors that he's going to go to the Broncos as well. Where is a realistic landing spot for a guy like Tony Romo? I don't necessarily know if people have a clear idea of what makes the most sense for Tony Romo, Jaymee. I don't know. If you yourself are like, oh, I think I have a great idea for Tony Romo, or you came into the studio like, I know everything about Tony Romo. I'm like, do you? Tell me more.
I said I knew a little, not everything.
A little?
I think that he will go to the Broncos.
The Broncos?
Yep.
Aaron's saying Romo should go to the Bears. Well, that's actually kind of void at this point, Aaron, because the Bears are in the process of finalizing a $14.5 million a year deal for Mike Glennon, apparently. So the most sought-after quarterback in the National Football League since Aaron Rodgers. No, that's not true. Mike Glennon, though, to the Bears for $14.5 million. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Robert thinks Romo should go to the Jets. But if you're Tony Romo, you want to play the field. You don't want to go to a team that was even worse than the team you were on last year. I think Romo would have almost rather have sat on the bench, got the de facto Super Bowl ring if the Cowboys would have won it, and been like, all right, maybe I'm good. Maybe I don't need to play anymore.
Do you think part of a team picking him up is because obviously he'll be a backup, but more so just to learn from him, to let their first quarterback learn his ways?
Well, yeah, anytime you bring a veteran in like that, I feel like you have to think a little bit. If Tony Romo isn't going to be your starting quarterback and you still think he's enough to get the job somewhere, people are saying, Peter just comments on Facebook as well too, he says the Broncos would be a great fit for Romo. I would agree with you on that one because Romo wants to try to compete for a Super Bowl. Totally get that. We're realistically our Super Bowl to an extent caliber teams hanging out right now. New England, they're good. Green Bay, they're good. The Giants, I guess they're a Super Bowl team. Dallas, Romo just got kicked out of Dallas, basically. Wow. What else are you supposed to do? Denver's, won the Super Bowl. Peyton Manning then retired. You got Trevor Siemian in there doing his darndest to keep the team relevant. They missed the playoffs. So you got already a championship caliber defense. You've got most of the same offensive tools that were already so talented last year. Emmanuel Sanders, Demaryius Thomas, just a fresh core of players that are so dynamic. All you need is a guy that can give him the ball and actually has experience in the league. So that makes total sense to me. Throw Tony Romo into Denver for maybe a 2-year deal, nothing too crazy, and just say, hey,
probably just get hurt again.
Let's see what happens. Exactly, but then also tell Trevor, be like, look, we know you're going to end up playing like week 4, so just get ready, kind of a thing.
Right. So maybe it's good. Have him go there, teach them his ways, because he's obviously a good football player. He's just brittle and needs to drink more milk.
More brittle. Got to strengthen those bones, Tony. Got to milk gives you strong bones. Okay, now that I say that word, I feel like I need to ask you this. Is it milk? Milk? Milk?
I don't know. What am I
saying? M-E-L-K? You're saying it like milk. Like I am too. I say milk. And I have a friend who literally screams at people if you get it wrong. It's milk. It's how you say it. It's M-I-L-K, milk. I want some, some skim milk or some almond milk.
But am I saying milk or am I saying milk?
You're emphasizing the mil, like the.
So that's how it's supposed to be.
You're saying like Mel, like my friend Mel, like hey, I've got some milk.
Milk.
I know. Now you're getting to the rest of the day. You'll be like, wait, how do you say it? How do you say it? Like
milk. I don't know.
Anyway, so drink more milk gives you strong bones. Go Tony. Ian says the Texans make sense. Now, if you want him to be a starter, yeah, he could also be that role model to Brock Osweiler, who had such a tragic year last year, getting paid $17 million a year to basically do nothing and throw interceptions. So he was Jay Cutler.
But is it worth the risk to start him? Like, is it worth?
I don't know. That's the big thing that I struggle with Tony Romo, is that I don't know if you are a team that is going to invest. So if I had literally no other option, and I was like, okay, Tony Romo's the only quarterback available that we feel comfortable trying to get, then sure, maybe you throw a small amount at him and say, and then you backload the contract with a lot of incentives. If you stay healthy, if you win this many games, we'll then give you much more money. He's already been in the league long enough. He's got plenty of money.
Yeah. On last week, even Tanner did your sit, cut, and start.
Start, sit, cut. Yes.
You guys had
Romo, Cutler, and Kirk Cousins.
You're right. Okay, so we all agreed to, I think, cut Cutler.
Cut Cutler.
Start Romo because we all knew he was going to get hurt so that Kirk Cousins could play. So I
started Cousins.
Oh, did you?
I started Cousins.
Oh, yeah, I agree with Tanner.
And I was yelling at Tanner because I'm like, why would you start a guy just so he can get hurt? That doesn't make any sense to me.
That's right. Yeah, because then
if the Packers were that way or the Patriots were that way, Jimmy Garoppolo and Brett Hundley would be the starting quarterbacks just so that they knew that they'd be fine with Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. You start a guy because you believe in him, not because you're waiting for him to get hurt so you can actually play the other guy.
But you use him, so you might as well use him now in case Kirk Cousins gets hurt.
I think
that's
ridiculous.
In our fantasy team.
Brew on Facebook just threw us a little breaking news. He says that Deshaun Jackson, a former Washington Redskin, is expected to sign with the Buccaneers. Thanks for tossing that our way, Brew. I think that's a sharp deal for the Buccaneers, and everybody loves Florida, so why not go down to Florida? You can play with the young quarterback in Jameis Winston. We'll see if the Buccaneers can figure out the running back situation though too. So that'll be a big thing. But I appreciate that, Brew. We'll have to add that to the rest of our programming a little bit later on. Aaron says that he started Tony Romo, which I still think. It depends on your reasoning for starting Tony Romo. If you're starting him because you're like, well, he'll get hurt, so then I'll be fine with my backup. No.
Okay, but you start Kirk Cousins, he gets injured. Now you have Tony Romo, and he gets hurt a day later because he has another shattered collarbone.
I think
now you're out 2 QBs.
Well, yeah, but I feel like my longevity with Kirk Cousins is better. I feel like Kirk is going to stay healthier longer and be more successful, in my opinion. It's okay to not agree with me, Jamie. I don't want you to agree with me. I'd be mad if you only agreed with me. Be like, stop it.
I don't agree with you.
We did agree on starting cinnamon rolls yesterday,
we did.
though.
Cinnamon rolls.
But so if you missed our Tanner and I show yesterday, we did our normal start sit cut, and then I threw a breakfast edition where we had cinnamon rolls, pancakes, and waffles, and you had to start one, cut one, sit one, basically. I started cinnamon rolls, I sat pancakes, and I cut waffles, and I've been receiving a lot of backlash for cutting waffles, apparently, because waffles are bae, according to so many people, according to you, Jamie.
They just have cute little pockets, and when there's a lot of extra butter in there, it's just so good.
Little pockets.
Yeah. I also started cinnamon rolls, though, because those are great.
Boom.
So many flavors.
Hashtag CRs for days. Love cinnamon rolls. It sounds like... sounds like from what I'm hearing now, too, is my phone is starting to light up from both ESPN and Bleacher Report that Deshaun Jackson will sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So a good move for them. They got to get Vincent Jackson back in there as well, too. Shore up that defense a little bit, and Tampa might be returning to their old Brad Johnson glory days there when Mike Allstott was running around back there as well, too. Jeff says, sounds like Micah Hyde may sign with somebody else. Yep, that's what I've been hearing as well too, Jeff. Appreciate the insight on that one. Robert says, go ASU, hashtag Brock. No, let's not give the Sun Devils more credit than they actually need. I just think that's a little icky. But
he also says Romo should retire.
Yeah, Aaron wants to know where Cutler's going to go as well too. I don't know. I thought Cutler was going to go to San Francisco, but then San Francisco threw money at Brian Hoyer, being like, all right, Brian, I don't know how many people have money that they feel comfortable putting money into Brian Hoyer, but Brian Hoyer is one of those moves where you throw money at him, and then you also go and draft a quarterback as well, too, and say, all right, you guys kind of duke it out, because they didn't throw a ton of money at Brian Hoyer. It was just like, here's a little bit of money, let's see what happens, but we're also probably going to draft somebody to make training camp interesting, and we'll really just kind of see what happens there, basically. Brew says he would cut pancakes.
My guy.
I don't know if we can be friends anymore, Brew.
We can.
Have you guys ever been to the Pancake House here in Milwaukee?
Yeah, and I always got a waffle.
What? Who goes to the Pancake House?
Just kidding. I think I got omelets.
I don't know. You. But I agree with you, though, Robert, that Romo should probably just retire or at least be a mentor. Yes, he doesn't need to be signed as a starting quarterback, but I think he's a smart guy. He's been around, seen a lot of stuff. He's seen some things, man. I think he could really be beneficial to young quarterbacks that are trying to learn. I think he would be a good mentor for Trevor Siemian. I think he would maybe be a decent mentor for Brock Osweiler.
And it's not like he's not. I mean, he's obviously not doing this anymore for the money because he's got plenty of it.
At this point in his career, yes.
So I also agree. What's wrong with him just taking a sideline job? I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. Hold the clipboard, Tony. All right, Throwback Thursday, always a good time when people Instagram or throw back to the good old days when life was blissful and worry-free and being an adult wasn't hard. Those were the days, Jamie, weren't they?
Yep, I remember them so well.
Do you ever go through your Facebook memories and see like the on this day and you're just like, oh,
No, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was so embarrassing.
Really?
Oh, yeah, my statuses are like, I bet you I could find something embarrassing.
I was going to say, I'm trying to go back here really fast to see what my life was like. Let's see. Baxter, 8 years ago on Facebook, said, is sunburnt and is going to bed. Night, everyone. There we go. 7 years ago, I said, work today. Tongue face. Can't wait. Then apparently I was yelling at my friend to answer his phone. And then I went on choir tour for my college. And then, let's see. A year ago, was this a year ago today? A year ago today, Brock Osweiler signed with the Houston Texans, of course, to a ridiculous deal. I shared that as well. Also found out that I got to call a broadcast for Giannis's little brother, Costas. That was fun. There was all 6'10" of him. That was a good time. That was my life on this day in Baxter Colburn sports history.
Mine is a lot of stupid, cheesy quotes with hearts at the end of them, so that's embarrassing.
You were that girl in high school. I want to hear some. What do we got? What do we got?
No, they're so embarrassing. Hold on.
Let's go. You got to give me at least one here. I read my life for you.
A life without love is like a tree without blossoms and fruit. With a heart at the end. Yep.
I think I have that tattooed somewhere.
Yeah, the next one is, I need to stop eating. This is ridiculous. Ooh, here's a good one. I think the only reason people hold on to memories so tight is because memories are the only thing that change when don't change when everybody else does. I must have got my heart broken.
I was just about to say, how long ago was this in Jamie's life?
That was 6 years ago.
6 years ago. What was your life like 6 years ago? You were in high school?
No,
you were in
college.
Good Lord.
What's the month right now?
Today's March.
I think I broke up with my high school boyfriend in January of like 6 years ago.
Bye, Felicia.
2 years ago, I went for a run.
Oh.
Hashtag wish me luck.
Last time you went for a run. No, I'm sure you ran at least since.
Yeah, I tried on what day was that? Monday? And
that's right.
Blew
you said
over.
you got blown off a bridge, basically.
I couldn't breathe. I was like, trying to run.
Oh, wow.
It was awful.
Happens to the best of us.
It was terrible.
But I always find it funny, though. Go back and check your Facebook memories for the day as well, too. Anything good for us, definitely comment below. I always love hearing that stuff from people, being like, what did you do today? And I go back and I chuckle, and most of the time I was complaining about, like working or eating or whoever girl I was dating at the time, being like on the phone with whoever. Like, wasn't that like do you remember that back in the day? Like, people would post on Facebook, be like doing this, eating this, text me.
Hanging out with Calvin.
It's like, and then and then it'd be like ... like text me, smiley face, be like, if you're hanging out with somebody, I don't want to be rude and text you.
One of mine was just like eating with, and then like tag my friend Chad, eating with Chad.
Yeah.
Okay, Jamie, no one cares.
This is some breaking news here on the NFL free agent side of things. The Packers will re-sign Nick Perry, according to multiple reports. He, as we heard from Bill, has a career high in tackles of 52, sacks 11 in 2016. So Bill has now been void as a potential source because he was wrong. No, nothing wrong. I love Bill. Bill was a lot of fun, but Nick Perry apparently re-signing, club and all, to the Packers. For a couple more years. I haven't seen no details on how long the deal is, but the NFL today is a lot of the Brew sports shows today are going to be very NFL heavy today. So if you don't like the NFL, sorry, not sorry. It's basically NFL Christmas today, aside from the Super Bowl, with free agency being wide open. So a lot of exciting things that we're going to talk about. But anyway, we were going to throw it back, Jamie, to a time. Where are you throwing it back to? I don't know if we are throwing
1936.
Holy cow!
Yep.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
I remember when.
Do you?
No. Babe Ruth turned down his offer with the Reds to make a comeback as a player. And there was no punctuation at all in there, so that was hard to read.
Hashtag no grammar.
Yep. The rest is...
Anything else? Anything happened like this day in like the world? Those are always fun, like, King Louis XIV executed his 20th wife.
Nothing exciting happened on this day. A lot of...
No hashtag
1904, Brandon Lester Patrick.
Here,
Brandon Lester's Patrick.
I got some stuff.
Hockey.
Yeah, I get emails daily from onthisday.com.
Yeah, that's what I'm on right now.
So
nothing exciting.
1522.
I didn't get there.
Looked over that. Martin Luther begins preaching his sermons in German in the German city of Wittenberg. Very, very big thing. 1776, the publication of the influential economics book The Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith was released. Everybody remembers that day.
Mm-hmm.
In 1933, U.S. Congress is called into a special session by FDR beginning its 100 days. And today also in 1961, Soviet flight Sputnik 9 carries and returns a dog named, I'm not going to try this.
Try it.
Chernushka? Chernushka. We'll go
That's
with
the
that.
dog's name?
I think so. Or Blackie, apparently. Frogs and a guinea pig into orbit. Sounds like a
I feel
real...
like PETA would have a real heyday with that.
Be like, how dare you? I think
They did not sign the waivers.
Yeah, exactly. There was no paw print for Shabishka or whoever. Blackie and guinea pigs and frog. So that's this day. I'm throwing it back actually to baseball because everybody knows I love baseball. On this day in baseball history is when the Tampa Bay Rays organization was founded and was awarded a franchise back in 1995, I do believe. So all my infinite baseball knowledge is coming out at you guys, so move over.
And he claims he doesn't like baseball.
I don't. It's a waste of time. I enjoy going to games, okay? I do enjoy going to games. But aside from that, that's about it, basically. Julian on Facebook or Robert says on Facebook that if he signed Tony Romo, I would put pads on him like the kid from Little Giants. Yes, I completely agree. Where he has pads like 12 sizes too bigger than him. Aaron also says that he's eaten guinea pigs before.
One time, so I used to have this friend Kayla in high school, and she had like 5 guinea pigs, and she would always come over for dinner to my house because she was my best friend. And my dad would make this. I talk about my dad a lot.
What up, Ken?
I would make this, or he would make this, like, rice and chicken casserole thing. I don't know.
Yes.
So the first time she came over, he told her it was guinea pig, and she cried and refused to eat it, and then eventually realized it was just chicken.
Everything tastes like chicken, though. That's what I've heard. Like, any sort of exotic meats taste like chicken. I mean, I don't know. Uh-oh. Who said something? I feel like somebody just said something on Facebook. What's going on? What did I miss?
No?
Did I miss something? I don't know where to go from there on that one. All right, so you look at the sports world overall. Of course, NFL free agency is a big deal today. We're probably going to see a lot of hashtag yes drama, Jaymee, as well, too.
Yeah, probably. As the day goes on, still early. They're all in their hot tubs right now, still.
Yep,
so
partying with Ted. Do you have a hashtag yes drama moment from the week thus far, or hashtag yes drama from the show thus far? Anything Bill did or said, or in general what we've been talking about today?
You always ask me that question, and I never think of it until
it's on
now.
The schedule weeks in advance.
I get nervous. No.
I think the hashtag yes drama for me today all centers around what Tony Romo does. I think there's going to be a lot of hashtag yes drama because people are going to be all about where Tony Romo is going. Is he going to Denver? Is he going to just...
Are you Team Denver? What are you...
Yeah, I think I don't like Tony Romo, but if he goes somewhere, I think Denver makes the most sense because at least they have...
If he does not retire.
Yes, which I don't think he will.
Right.
Even though I think he should.
Okay.
What I think and what I actually believe are two totally different things,
right.
Of course.
Gotcha.
Basically. So that's my thing. I think everybody's going to be hashtagging yes drama about Tony Romo today, but also people are going to continue to do the whole hashtag yes drama with Timmy T based off of his terrible first major league at bats where he went 0 for 3. He got hit by a pitch, so he did get on base at least once. But doesn't count.
That was the only part of the game I watched. We were out for lunch. I looked up at the TV. He got hit with a ball, and I was not disappointed.
You're like, oh well, that's about right.
Yeah.
Okay, I've stalled for you long enough. What's your hashtag yes drama moment?
I didn't.
What have you been doing with yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. Reading.
Reading? This isn't. You don't just pull out the Reader's Digest while we're on the air. I don't know. Caleb disagrees with me, and so does Ian. They both say Houston makes more sense for Romo. Okay. I don't know.
I think Denver.
I guess I don't know what to say to that. You think Denver? You think not Houston? Hashtag no Houston, never Houston?
I think also a lot of people are saying that, like, okay, like we've been talking again, age is a thing, whatever, but Romo still has some years left in him.
Age is just a number.
If he just stops getting hurt. And I think, you said he's got a great offensive, like a great defense. Like they just need a great quarterback, and Denver's hot again. So
that's true.
Maybe they just need a good coach.
Yeah.
A good mentor. There we go.
Maybe that's all it needs. Maybe. All right. Some of the other big deals that have taken place really quick here. Kenny Stills re-signs with the Miami Dolphins, which will be a big deal for them. Andre Branch also signs with the Dolphins. Brandon LaFell re-signs with the Bengals. Marquise Goodwin, wide receiver to the 49ers. Dwayne Allen got traded to the Patriots, which is another big deal. Patrick DeMarco and Mike Tolbert go to the Bills. I'm sure Tanner's happy about that. Barry Church, sounds like a country singer, goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Doesn't that sound like a country singer, Barry Church? I'm going to see Barry Church tonight, I think maybe because who is the country singer? Is it
Eric Church?
Eric Church, that's what it is. Pierre Garçon is going to the 49ers. Brian Hoyer to the 49ers as well. Chandler Jones gets a huge deal from the Cardinals. Tyrod Taylor stays in Buffalo. Vernon Davis re-signs with the Redskins. And nothing else exceptionally exciting. We talked about Brandon Marshall to the Giants yesterday, so that's really the main rundown of things. And as we just heard as well, too, it sounds like Deshaun Jackson is signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is kind of a cool thing. And then Nick Perry also is going to re-sign with the Green Bay Packers. So Packer fans, hashtag yes, hashtag no. Got to give us that. Give us the lowdown on your Nick Perry thoughts on that one. It's been a great show, Jamie.
It has. I got some drama.
Yay! What's your drama?
Biggie died today. 20 years ago.
Who's Biggie?
Like Notorious B.I.G. Baxter.
Jamie, you're darker than I am.
Oh my goodness.
I was homeschooled. I was sheltered. I don't know who Biggie is.
We'll play some of him once we get off the air.
Why? What did he do?
He's got this gross movie. I mean, if you're a fan of him, it's really good, but it's just gross. There's a lot of boobs.
I mean, if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah. He's just a rapper that died. I don't really know much about him. That was my drama. I thought you would know who he was.
I don't know who that is. Maybe that's your yes drama moment, is that I don't know who Biggie is. All right, well, folks, a reminder for all of you, of course, continue to share this episode as well, too. If you loved what Bill had to offer us about the Brewers and the Packers earlier on, go back and check out the full episode by headed to our website, brewsportsnet.com. You can also follow us on Facebook. Get the notification tab up there. Just go and say, get notifications when Brew Sports go live. That's a good idea. Your life will be progressively better each and every day by you doing such a thing. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at BrewSportsNet, hashtag BrewSports as well, at Baxter Colburn, at Jamie_Ebers, 3 E's, don't forget about them. Coming up next, it will be Bubbler Banter, live right here on Brew Sports. Josh Scheibe, Ian DeMars, 9 a.m. Central Time, live on Brew Sports. Bill will be back as well, too, so you can catch Bill with his hot insights and hot takes as well, too. Special thanks to everybody that commented. People were commenting up a storm today, so a huge thanks to that. Pretty sure that was inflated because everybody loves Bill from what I was gathering, so people were throwing comments in. But he was also just a really smart guy as well, too, so the insight that he was dropping, people were like, oh, give me more, Bill, give me more. So a special thanks to everybody that was. Usually we go through and thank everybody, but because this is a good problem to have, but because we have so many different people that were commenting today,
we're so popular.
we're just going to go like a blanket, like, thank you, sort of a thing. So if you like what you saw today, of course, invite your friends to Brew Sports as well, too. Go to our Facebook page, hit that little invite my friends, and go do-do-do-do-do with the invites. So that's what I usually do. I'm just like do-do-do-do-do. I even make the sound
People
as well,
hit
too.
Decline, you're like, invite again.
Invite again. Be like, what do you mean? My mom needs to stop hitting decline. She loves me. All right, Jamie, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Is that right?
I'll be here.
For a Friday, a fitness Friday as well, too. Morgan Brill is going to be joining us, one of our fitness correspondents, to give us a little bit of a fitness tip in our second segment. So we'll be excited to welcome Morgan. It'll be Flashback Friday as well, too. Maybe we need to start pulling like old pictures of Baxter and Jaymee for Flashback Friday, because I know we try to like review the week in the sports world by doing Flashback Friday, but maybe we need to also share with the world who Baxter and Jaymee used to be from back in the day.
I'll see what I can dig up.
I love it. She's Jamie. I'm Baxter. We'll see you guys next time on The Morning Brew. Have a great rest of your morning and rest of your day as well, too. We'll see you next time.